haven't done anything.
Remember, thumbs up if you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to ring that bell. Stay tuned. We're going to start right now.
What you know you can't explain. But you feel it. You felt it your entire life. That there's something wrong. You don't know what it is, but it's there. Like a splinter in your mind, driving you mad. Experience the awakening. Brilliant anonymous researchers. Patriots, join us in the Patriot Army. Trust the plan, pain coming. Boom, boom, boom. Let's go. RedStateTalkRadio.com, Brighteon.tv, Rumble.com/MG Show. The end won't be for everyone. That choice to know will be yours. Where we go one, we go all. Fight, 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 and fight we will. We fight every day right here on the MG Show. Well, good Monday morning on the MG Show, and boy, do we have a lot to talk about. Dan Bongino was infiltrated in Hutchinson Island at the Liberty Dinner in Florida, right near my house, by the way. They went in together, three gentlemen, and there was an officer, Lou, there. I'm not sure it was Ivan Raiklin who actually made the comments. We'll go over that, but he was there. It was an op to, quote unquote, call out Dan Bongino. Now Dan Bongino goes on a show at 10 o'clock to go ahead and let everybody know about what we've known since 2023. Pretty amazing stuff, Shady Groove.
Well, I think that welcome everybody to the show, by the way. And I think that what is happening right now is a big testimony to what it is that we've been working on here for the last 5 or 6 years to come to the conclusions that we have come to and to decide to understand for ourselves and realistically pinpoint these areas where certain individuals were acting like things were wrong with Donald Trump or Donald Trump's administration or Donald Trump's campaign that weren't. And over again, we pointed these inconsistencies out over the last 3 years to show that this crew right here that just did this to Dan Bongino, that Jeff's getting ready to show you here in a minute, well, this is what they do. And let's really look into like the depth of this. How many people have been running around on the internet calling everybody P3DOs? They've been running around on the internet doing that for, a good, pretty solid decade now. And it's interesting that they seem to target all the people that are around Donald Trump and are supportive of Donald Trump. And it's really been going on a long time. And now they're acting like, Dan Bongino is doing it because Bongino actually saw that there was no cover up, quote unquote, of a an Epstein client list.
Yeah, and it probably goes deeper than that because, Ivan has been, ousted by the Trump administration as well. He asked Cash about January 6th. We're going to get into all of it, guys. And now it's going to be time to start asking questions. We know General Flynn now, guys, right? General Flynn's pretty much stick a fork in him. He's done if you're a real patriot, if you understand it, right? And then number two is now we have to ask more questions because as the onion unpeels, we're going to be ahead. Again, we were ahead of the game for 3 years, almost, Shady Groove, and we're going to be ahead of the game again today. We're going to show you General Flynn and Roger Stone possibly had something to do with MAGA making look making us look violent. And we're going to cover a little bit of that today because we got to strike while the iron's hot. People might not be ready for Roger Stone, but story, but it's time to actually take the blinders off and look at the entire network, guys. The entire network of people that infiltrated us around the Q movement, around the MAGA movement. It's just so insane, Shady Group. They're all working together. They were once yay pro POTUS, and now they're nay against POTUS, and Q warned us of those sleeper cells. So now the sleeper cells of these influencers are now on display for America to see. And X.
They sold us a Fedsurrection. That's what they sold us. This whole group, the whole group that sold you the quote Fedsurrection. Okay. These are the people that Jeff is talking about right now. These are the people that are on the hook for what happened during the January 6th event, because what is going on is that this was their opportunity to make you look like an Antifa. Okay. And the idea that this is not happenstance. 95% of all of MAGA would never do anything at all violent at the United States Capitol. Okay. 5% of the people aren't really MAGA that did. Okay. That's the point that we're talking about right here. These people that have infiltrated us are acting as if they have your best interest at heart as they slowly walk you away from the person that's actually working for you, which is Donald Trump. This is InfoWars. This is Flynn Network. This is Health Ranger. This is Stu Peters. Every single
Candace Owens,
Megyn Kelly, Tucker Carlson, every single quote influencer. Somebody's like, "Oh, we are not influencers." Okay, we are two guys that talk to you about what's going on in the world. Like we are not I'm not here to influence anything. I'm here to talk to you straight to you about what's happening. And influencer indicates that there's something they're doing something that they don't really mean, like wrestling. It's kayfabe. It's pretend. It's not real.
Yeah. Yeah. And we got it all. Benny John. I mean, you name it, guys. Lindell, Bannon. I mean, it's all of them, guys. And they all have something against Trump because they were, slighted by him in one way or the other, or TPUSA for Candace's, point of view. Shady.
Now we're seeing how some of these media organizations are propped up, like this NTD News and all these other 3 or 4 different affiliates that are associated with Bannon that just popped up out of nowhere. It's foreign funded propaganda machines. In other words, thesis, antithesis. They want you constantly talking about Democrats. Okay. If you will pay attention, you will notice Fox News, doesn't matter who it is. They all want you constantly talking about Democrats. They never want you talking about what Donald Trump is actually doing or what the Republicans could do or what the golden age consists of. They're constantly trying to drag you back in to the neocon agenda, which is, we sit here and we pull our hair out about Democrats and the Democrats sit there and they pull their hair out about Republicans. What if we stepped over all of that, got into the golden age where we're actually accomplishing stuff in life?
Yeah. Yeah. CCS 118, welcome. I found myself here because so many others had been disappointed. Thank you. Want to thank you guys again, Shady. I didn't read through all of them because we got a ton. Thank you guys very much for sending those emails about how you found the MG show and what you think about it and would you recommend it to friends and all that. Shady, those emails.
They broke me. You broke Shady over the weekend. Literally, I called Jeff and I was like, "You're not even going to believe what is there."
We should do a show just reading them, because
I meant to suggest that to you this morning in the meeting. I was like, maybe we should just like sit down and do a show where we read this because, oh my goodness, whether it be from X22, from Badlands, from War Drummer, all these different places where you found us, you never left.
From a random raid that Yeti did?
A random raid? Yeah. We found listeners like you're not leaving. The thing is, whenever people slow down and listen, there's nowhere else to go. Yeah. You see, because what we're doing is we're giving you, we're actually doing the reason most people don't do what we do is because we're giving you the tools to not need us. We're giving you the tools to not need us. The reason you're here is because you like our banter or you like our perspective or you want to be like in the know like right now of what we're looking into. Because the reality is you can look at all of these people like Tucker and Candace and all of these. You see that clear as day. You saw it through the Charlie Kirk thing. You saw, Ivan Raiklin made his post in last year in the spring after Trump was elected saying, oh, if things don't straighten up by May, there's going to be trouble. Well, Now you're seeing the trouble. This is what the mafia does, right? The mafia will make a threat, and then whenever you don't do what they say you're supposed to do, and they put a pressure campaign on you and you still don't do it, then they start to lie, cheat, and steal. And that's what's happening right now.
Yeah, and by the way, in case you forgot, Ivan Raiklin has been on Tucker Carlson. Remember that, Shady?
I do, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Ivan Raiklin has been on the Hodgkins twins. Ivan Raiklin was on this show until we kicked him out the first time because he was an asshat and he lied. This elector thing that he had, it didn't happen. Make Trump the speaker. All this weird crap, guys. I want Trump to be the president, not the speaker. That's why we never had Ivan Raiklin on again. Okay.
We should go back and try to find all those emails. Remember that whenever he was like berating us, trying to get on, he was like sending us emails every day.
Yeah, he wanted to get on this show every day, guys.
It was crazy.
So let's take you to Hutchinson Island, Florida. This is the Republican of Florida's event called the Lincoln Dinner, where Dan was the keynote speaker. It's right here, Shady. I've stayed at this hotel. I've taken people to eat at this hotel. I can't believe they were this close to me in Hutchinson Island. Check it out, Shady.
Yep, let's see what's going on.
You ready? Got it.
Why did you put your name on?
You're a pedophile protector. A pedophile protector. Pedophile protector. I was a cop for 9 years. You're a pedophile protector, faggot. You're a pedophile protector. Fuck you, dude. Fuck you.
There you have it. Isn't that what they do to all of us?
Yeah. So real quick. So you saw Ivan Raiklin. He was there, okay? And he's like, you got it? Are you filming? Are you filming?
Setting the whole thing up. Yep.
And that like was
Don Lemon.
Let me just finish real quick. I believe this is Officer Lou. I don't know exactly who it was, Shady, but I wanted to make sure that it wasn't Ivan Raiklin speaking. I wanted to make that clear. That's all. But he was part of that operation, Shady.
He was definitely part of it. You could see him setting it up there, just like what Don Lemon did at the church. You see, this is how these people operate. You will know them by their actions. Their words don't mean anything. People's words don't mean anything. Their actions is what matters. And whenever you see their actions and they're not connected to what it is that they're saying, you should start to question. And right there, you're seeing this is a unbelievably disgusting mischaracterization about anything to do with Dan Bongino, acting like he is protecting P3DOs, saying that out loud, and then calling him, talking to Dan Bongino exactly like every single one of these Ivan Raiklin, General Flynn, military online operators talk to us.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly what they say. They say the same thing over and over again. They've been saying this stuff to us for like 5 or 6 years. We've kind of got the hint by now what it is that you guys are doing. They're one-trick ponies, and they do this to every single person.
Yeah. I want to just let you know, too, that this was a planned psychological operation as well. Here we go. This is Ivan Raiklin talking about Dan Bongino doesn't surrender now in the war that you deployed him. Declare he will be the single most contributing factor to ensuring Soros, CCP, Somali pirate. By the way, Roger Stone funded Somali pirates as well, or got money from Somali pirates. So Bongino, we must punish Bongino for being a cuck, coward, accessory after the fact. Look at this. And Enrique Tarrio, January 6th. So what we're trying to do is show you that there was also, and I can't find the post. I wanted to find the post that there was another January 6th person with him there.
Yeah. I think I remember seeing the one you're talking about.
Yeah. So somebody from January 6th who was actually pardoned by Donald J. Trump was there. Guys, so we're trying to show you the connections now because we're stuck at General Flynn's network. But who gives the orders is what we're asking, and who is the leader? And you're going to find that out today because a lot of people aren't ready for it. There's a lot of people that love people like Roger Stone. Okay. He's been reposted by President Trump a couple of times. And, it's this weekend. But who gave the orders? Who was setting up the Stop the Steal event on January 6th to make you look violent? Who was there? Why was, somebody that was convicted for driving a golf cart down there, Roger Stone's chauffeur that day, and said, wait till you see what we got coming. There's so much more to this, guys, and we're only scratching the surface. And what I think we're seeing right now are, people that understand what's happening, and they're dripping, drip, 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 right? The information out. People are still in love or like with Roger Stone, so they're not ready for that yet. But get ready. Buckle up, buttercups, because how many times have we been wrong until we were right, Shady?
A number of times. And I think that this whole thing, I think that the reason that this thing just happened with Ivan Raiklin, that he just did this to Dan Bongino, is because of the Kent thing. Because they basically, what's happened is Kent figured out that he was being investigated. So because he figured out he was being investigated, then the only thing to do to save face is to resign and run to the cameras really quick and try to get a bunch of people behind you to virtue signal and act like, oh, well, you're better than God because you've went out and made a couple of times, you went out and served in a couple of different theaters of war, which is effectively what all these people did. Now they need a big distraction because their man on the inside is burnt. Their lead is burnt. They have no connection. They have nobody that's going to feed Candace Owens BS information about Fort whatever the hell it was. Now it's looking pretty confirmed that Kent was the one sending out information regarding the Charlie Kirk assassination. If that turns out to be true, then what he's really doing is trying to taint the jury pool. They're all trying to taint the jury pool and somehow get this guy, Tyler Robinson, off. That's what it looks like they are doing. They're trying to say that this is Israel and all these different things did it. What it looks like to me is it looks like the people that are connected to the shooter, Robinson, that are trying to protect him by not getting the death penalty.
Yeah, interesting theory there.
That's a theory.
Do we have a direct connection before this date with Ivan and Joe Kent? Well, here is Joe Kent in 2022 asking Elon Musk for Ivan Raiklin's account to be reinstated.
Oh. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
And then he runs right to the whatever for Catholics event.
Yeah.
Catholics for Catholics events, but what I am seeing is that a lot of people are done with it. A number of people are going to get swept up into the the momentum of this, but then the wave comes back to the shore and people realize, wait a minute, what are you trying to tell me is going on while Donald Trump is actually starting to solve these issues that are going on with massive 5 decades of nonsense with Iran? Well, there's not going to be a lot more nonsense with Iran coming soon.
Even for its own good, because you're just reflexively, you don't want to go there. It's the one institution in the country.
Yeah. Remember this?
I do.
It does seem like there's a huge problem right now.
They're all connected, guys. Candace Owens, Hodgkin's twins, InfoWars, General Flynn, Roger Stone. They're all connected, guys. Every single one.
It's neocons. Do you see this? Let's look back. Who did General Flynn serve under initially in Iraq and Afghanistan? Okay, who are they actually loyal to? Which Obama. President? President Trump to begin with, or be President Bush to begin with, then President Obama. All of this whole network that was built in the Middle East, built under them. Tucker Carlson, let's look back at his history. He was right there saying, he was all for the Bush war in Iraq whenever we were going to turn the place into glass. And every single one of these other people, Megyn Kelly, Candace Owens, all these other people had interesting perspectives and are connected directly through intelligence agencies or known neocon networks, and they're all anti-Trump.
Yeah. Let's listen to Bongino today. Snap back at Ivan Raiklin and the Flynn Grift. Check it out.
And all of a sudden, these guys show up at a MAGA event calling people, you get the point, said it enough. Screaming like lunatics in the lobby, crying like little girls afterwards when they got tossed out. Here's a tweet by Joe Kent supporting Igor. Back is Igor's buddy. Elon Musk, can you please?
Igor is Ivan Raiklin. He's calling Ivan Raiklin Igor.
Reinstate Igor so you can continue to provide constitutional and legal analysis. Really? Showing up at a MAGA event with his boys, one of them screaming, calling people faggots? That your boy, Joe? It's kind of weird how I called you out for lying. You're a liar. You are. And all of a sudden, I could prove you're a liar. I was there. I was there. I looked you in the face. You're a liar. And all of a sudden, weird, Igor shows up in his sombrero with Ogre and Little Guy. And Little Guy seemed awfully agitated. Think he had a little IBS. Maybe he ate a little something. Who knows? A sombrero. Maybe he had some Mexican that didn't agree with him. A little too many spices there, Little Guy? Seemed really upset. Weird you run around calling people. Strange.
They've been doing it to us for a long time, Dan.
Now, I want you to watch this, guys, because when Dan Bongino, so Dan Bongino supported General Flynn, just like the MG show did. And when we came to the realization, it was real. Now, listen to Dan's tone. You ready, Shady?
Mm-hmm.
Here's Igor's buddy, Mike Flynn Jr. He was really, I guess he was upset. Badge of fucking honor, Mike Flynn Jr. That's his boy. Did you guys know that? Igor used to show up at CPAC in like a little dog, like a dog. Although with that Igor face, I'm not sure a dog would want a face like that. My dog Lucy's a little cuter. However, Igor used to show up at CPAC with his homie there, Mike Flynn. Mike Flynn, Dan, didn't you defend his dad? Yeah, I did for a long time. His dad went through his unforgivable. And yet his son is part of some op after you served and they sat on the sideline. His son, who's done absolutely nothing but grift off daddy's name. The only thing his son brings to the table is the junior portion. That's your boy. You prove of that? Showing up at a MAGA event? I thought you guys were Trump people. That's his buddy right there. He used to show up at CPAC. As a matter of fact, one of them took a selfie with him. Can I come on your show? Igor, can I come on your show? Please? Like a dog, begging like a dog, little Igor with his sombrero. He didn't bring his stormtroopers with him, though, back then, because he used to walk around CPAC like a little dog, asking everyone to come on the show. You remember that, Igor? Can I come on your show? By the way, Igor, you don't have as many friends as you think you have. I'll leave it at that.
Remember, Shady? He used to send messages through people that we knew to have, can I come on your show, Jeff? Can we come on your show? No. Can I come on your show? I got voicemails just like that.
I think that everybody is getting a really good sense of what it is that is happening right now. And we're going to end up thanking them. We're going to end up thanking them for doing this stuff because, like I said, this is almost everybody in the audience that has ever been on social media and defended us has interacted with someone who has, when you defended us, called you a name like that, said you were doing that, or used that terminology, typed it right into Twitter, not afraid whatsoever to call you that and to say that, you're somehow, a homosexual because you pay attention to this show. This is 100% every single thing the only thing that you will get from any of these quote unquote meat-headed steroid-eating morons.
Yeah,
that's all. They don't have brains, guys. I'm sorry. They don't really have brains. They only have his knee-jerk reaction.
Yep, and they always call you GAY or a P3DO or
just
now
like
it's
that.
$7,000 or whatever.
Yep. Israel. Oh yeah, what's BB paying you?
So Ivan Raiklin was on InfoWars with Stuart Rhodes. Keep that guy in mind. Okay.
Oh yeah,
Here
we got him.
Right? So I get it, private citizen, he's making memes, jokes. But what's the ultimate goal of doing this? Or
to try to stop anybody else from doing it?
I mean,
Yes.
is he trying to intimidate me? I don't think that's okay. And number two, while it's funny, we can laugh and chuckle about it. It lowers the IQ level of the conversation that we're trying to have. The discussion is, do we want a country that's America first or America second? Or do we want a country that's America tied for first? And when you do things like that, right?
Yeah.
What do you even mean? Like, Like, see what I mean? Like the meat-headed, convoluted.
What do you want? Do you want America first or America second or America first or America second?
You don't even. There's no America. What are you even talking about? Like, look at the way that they think that you can, like, they think that they can drag you down to their stupidity, and then you all of a sudden have to like participate. It's like the child trying to bring you down to the game where you're putting the it's in the round hole, Jeff. You know, it's
I love that.
Like, the child is bringing you to play that game. You're like, I don't want to play that game. And then somehow the child is like, chastising you because you're not wanting to play their dumb game.
That's right. Again, this is a Candace Owens repost of Posobiec. Okay. Are you seeing how it's working? And he is infiltrated TPUSA. TPUSA, be careful. I'm telling you.
I know,
okay?
Dude. Oh, I know.
Yeah. Yeah. And then also the Flynn Network is done. We talked about that. So Dan Bongino posted this video many times. He even posted Authority. Congratulations, Authority.
He's
appreciate you.
Unblocked Shady.
I know, right? And so, unblock Shady Groove.
I went at him over Flynn.
I know. Well, so did I. And he did unblock me. But this video that I did is from 2024, Shady Groove. Okay. February of 2024. Let's listen to the video that has been reposted that we've posted in 2024 when it happened and called them out then. Okay, guys, you see how far ahead we're ahead of the game here, guys? Do you see that?
Just interestingly enough that, Laura Loomer is now posting this video and like all these other people are now posting this video. They didn't care about this video 2 years ago.
Yeah.
This is a message directly to every single person on the deep state target list. My assessment, Ivan Raiklin's assessment, that if you assassinate any political presidential candidate, whether it's RFK, whether it's Trump, guess what? America will do the following immediately. They will respond in kind, and they know who you are because we've created the list. So if you
and that's a major Rubicon, they should know that
immediately.
It's a Rubicon.
You're going to see immediately response, and there are only a few buildings in Washington D.C. that they will probably do that.
Well, I hope that's not the case, but these people are crazy.
And having said that, if they do that, option 2 behind Trump is going to be so much better for us and so much worse.
Well, I was about to say, if they kill him, that's best case scenario from a sick level. From a sick level beating him, oh, please kill him, but it's so good after that.
Oh, it's going to be the best cleansing and the fastest cleansing that we've ever seen in my lifetime. I assess with almost certainty, with the highest level of confidence, that if they assassinate Trump, it is so game over for them, and it's going to be so fast.
In other words, if Trump
the reign, if they do that to Trump,
I don't know.
You do know.
Who Tucker Carlson?
I mean, think about it. Who's in the best position to completely castrate the deep state and crush the commies? That has the understanding of the national security order to go ahead
Elon Musk.
Just clean house. He can't be president.
Elon Musk. Yeah.
He's going to be vital.
He's basically already the president.
No, he's going to be vital in the conversation. I just think that General Flynn becomes the inevitable leader.
Oh, General Flynn, obviously. Yeah.
Obviously, General Flynn.
If they do that. So think about it. Trump's probably going to be better for them. Because if General Flynn, I mean, think about it. The people that General Flynn would bring into the administration.
The globalists are all going to prison.
You're the globalist, Alex. So's Ivan.
Just let that sink in.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty crazy.
I want you guys to make sure you read this right here. The warpath to retribution is inevitable. If nothing happens by May 31st, things will get a bit uncertain. This was posted after Donald Trump was reelected. Did you notice how he characterized what he was saying there whenever he said what he just said? He said that if Trump doesn't get assassinated, the swamp is going to live. In other words, Trump isn't going to do anything for you. He's trying to predict what it was that they were trying to do on July the 13th. And I can pretty much say that with confidence.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty crazy, guys. So, we're just looking at all of these different things. If somebody comes in here, Song Babe, I think, says, do we have to deal with this guy much longer? I hope not. I mean, we've been dealing with them, and you've been dealing with them, and we've all been dealing with them since 2023 is when we came out, okay? But we were dealing with them well before then, okay? We're way ahead of alternative media, guys. People had to step in and control the narrative that we don't have. We don't have a narrative. We have questions, a lot of questions about more than just Flynn, you know? And I think it's all coming to fruition. And what's next is the next step of what kind of psyops did they run? Were they behind January 6th? These are the questions that we have, Shady Groove.
Well, it's deeper, because what is really happening here is the cleansing of the American political game board. I think this is kind of what's happening. We're taking the whole game board and we're like getting rid of all the pieces on it. You know, all of these pieces that think that they have like a chokehold on American politics. Like Roger Stone thinks he has a chokehold on the American political right. You know, all the New York Times, they think they have a chokehold on the political left. All of these different entities that have had a chokehold on our political system really only have that chokehold because people don't have other avenues to figure things out. Currently, the internet and AI is providing people a lot of opportunity to get away from certain individuals. And, you know, like you were suggesting to the audience last week, you can use the artificial intelligence right there in Twitter to at least assess whether or not this post is real. I would encourage you to do that before you repost anything from any of these people, whether it be Tucker or Candace or, you know, the 900 reposters that they have out there that seem to agree with them on social media. Take a little moment to use the Grok search to see if the post that they're saying has any validity to it. In other words, is it conjecture? Is it hearsay? Or where does it come from? Grok is very good at finding a source or the sauce for material that is accurate. If someone's saying something, I've noticed, Jeff may have a different opinion, but I've noticed that if somebody's saying something that's accurate, Grok would be able to find the source for that commentary. And if someone's saying something that isn't accurate, there is obviously no source for it.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and look at this, because I want to focus on the gentleman with Ivan Raiklin on InfoWars. Check it out. That's Stuart Rhodes.
Mission. So based on, again, I used to teach indicator wording analysis and intelligence analysis. The way I see it is like, okay, why is he acting the way he does? You look at all of his indicators, which is all of public appearances, all of his commentary online and on his podcast. And what does he say? He's essentially, he's a quasi or ostensibly the largest independent voice on Rumble, carrying the Fox News talking points, which is the administration, the deep state warmonger neocon version of the administration's objectives.
And I would also
Adelson, Paul Ryan, Rupert Murdoch.
Mm-hmm.
He represents
all those people are against Trump.
And beyond the war.
Yeah.
Even setting aside the war, when it comes to accountability for 2020, the election being.
Okay.
Well,
So go ahead, Shady.
I'm sorry. The Paul Ryan talking, like, look at what they're doing. If you're paying attention to Fox News, the only thing they're showing you on Fox News is Democrats. They're not talking to you anything about what Trump's actual agenda is. Like the meme that we had where it says that Donald Trump has 89% approval rating in the GOP. That's a CNN show. Fox News isn't going to show you that. They're not going to tell you that. They don't want people to understand that people are supportive of him. Fox News agrees with Ivan Raiklin. Fox News's narratives match exactly Tucker Carlson's and Megyn Kelly's. As a matter of fact,
They match Brennan.
And same as Brennan. And we have evidence, we have proof that Megyn Kelly and Tucker Carlson are working for companies that is owned by Fox.
That's right.
So all of these people are spitting out the same thing. Ivan Raiklin is a neocon. Stuart Rhodes is a neocon. These people were born out of the neocon agenda.
So let's get into Stuart Rhodes. Okay. Again, Stuart Rhodes is the guy with the eye patch.
Yep.
He was arrested at January 6th. This is the Friends of Stone. Ivan Raiklin, exactly what's the op? Call to action, march on D.C., stop the steal, defense. This was the trial run with the Oath Keepers. Call to action, march on D.C., okay? What's the op? January 6th. It went live, guys. Friends of Stone. Why am I bringing up Friends of Stone, Shady? Can we now, so Ivan Raiklin is yet with another January 6th person, Stuart Rhodes of the Oath Keepers. Do we get to talk about January 6th yet? Because I have a whole thread on it, Shady.
I think we should.
All right. So I've kind of actually made a new thread. Okay. It's right here. So let's just ask these questions. Was January 6th a setup by General Flynn and Roger Stone? Why did Stone monitor the Capitol breach from his Willard hotel suite on calls and scrambling to leave? What was General Flynn's role? Did they coordinate with Oath Keepers, Proud Boys to push chaos for pardons or Insurrection Act? Trump said no violence. So who really planned it? This is a thread of my questions, and I actually redid this video. Check it out.
I'm going to make 3 calls, 2 to keep people in the campaign to get information, and then 1 to General Flynn.
Never been fully activated until now.
General, I think this is important, though. From a positioning point of view, having him say count every vote and having us say stop the count, the optics of that are terrible. Our slogan should be count every legal ballot. Count every legal ballot. Much better messaging, more positive. I mean, you know what? You've got great social media following. Get out there and say it. What I'm suggesting is that you do something like that. Yeah, I need a little committee. That's very good. Also, as I said, military, retired military, any rank. I'm gonna make
any rank, military, Oath Keepers, Proud Boys. Okay, interesting. So there's nothing to see here, Shady Groove, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what were they discussing in the war room at the Willard? Why did Roger Stone beg for a second pardon after getting one? Okay. What charges was he worried about for January 6th? There's a video of him fleeing D.C. when things turned violent. Is he innocent or covering tracks? Check it out.
Well, you see what I got coming. All right, very good.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Now, Joshua James goes from this room into a golf cart down to the front lines and got arrested, guys. Okay?
Right before the melee all started.
Gunshots, and then we subsequently learn about the woman who was shot.
I am getting out of town.
Why? Why would Stone have to get out of town?
Fake news, go home! We are the fucking news now!
See, they're using Q. That's a
Yep.
See that, guys?
Yep.
Infiltrated.
Yep, that's what they were all doing, and it's very interesting the way that this whole thing is playing out today.
You're not welcome here. You better back up to me. Get the fuck out. You better back up to me.
You told the fucking truth. That never would have fucking happened, you piece of shit.
For years, I'd followed Roger Stone with my camera, witnessing every step leading up to this moment. What had begun with the baseless allegations of election fraud had grown into an attempted coup. A poorly planned and incompetently executed attempted coup.
You're hearing the flashbangs, you're seeing the smoke from the tear gas. Police officers, they are methodically clearing the Capitol building.
What was it Kennedy said? Those who make peaceful progress impossible make violent revolution inevitable.
Isn't that okay? Is that an admission?
Yep, that's it right
Okay.
there.
This is from Roger Stone's own movie he had made with the Danish filmmaker who blocked me because I know that it wasn't baseless. I know we had vote fraud, okay? But they wanted you, MAGA, to be violent. Are we starting to see the pattern here?
We're seeing the setup. How did it happen? I was there. People were not violent until all of a sudden everybody started acting different because the people that were the operators within the crowd started getting everybody amped up. And the thing that kicked it off was the Ashley Babbitt story moving around the crowd. And once everybody heard what had happened, no one had any context whatsoever. Everyone changed their attitude and started getting upset with the Capitol Police. It turned from a protest into a altercation between people and the Capitol Police.
So we have a comment from Hard Knock News, who was a proud boy, a good one, okay, because the ones that were at January 6th were not the good ones, in my opinion. But he says, man, I feel so used that day. And looking back, I wish I knew what I knew now, or what I now know. Us too, man, okay? We didn't know either, but we're seeing it now and we're putting it together. And real men have real conversations and then change information or opinions once we're provided actual real information. You see what I'm saying, guys? I mean, this is from Stone's own mouth.
The thing is, 90% of the people that participate in things like that are kind, loving, well-meaning, strong, determined, great men. 10% of the people that participate in things like that are the people that are setting them up as a trap for you. They know you're kind. They know you're giving. They know you're not going to suspect that the leaders at the top would ever lead you astray because they seem like they somehow emulate you. This is the situation that a human being finds itself in because we're very, very vulnerable to people tricking us. Okay, and I think that maybe that's why we got so much great email over the last few days, and maybe that's the common theme in all of it. Everybody's just happy to say thank you because I was being fooled. I was being tricked by these people that were saying these things, and now I see through it. We don't have an iron in the fire for whether or not you do or don't like Roger Stone.
Yeah.
Only thing that we know is what he did, and we can prove that he did. And now we're seeing that Roger Stone has his little hands in all of this. He's putting out messages like, oh, you can't really disregard what Tucker Carlson says. And then him and Loomer are like going back and forth in public. And then, they're doing all these different things where this Joe Kent thing. And then now they've opened up a pack. I guarantee you that it was Roger Stone that has opened up this pack for Tulsi Gabbard 2028. See? So now they're trying to make it look like Tulsi is running for president and trying to undermine Donald Trump. Similar to the Scott McMahon narrative. Now, listen, if Tulsi Gabbard turns out to resign or to be bad or something that she's done is wrong, I'm all for it happening. There's just no proof of it right now.
Yeah, we'll report on it.
I'll report on it.
So
I don't have an iron in the fire. I don't have a stake in the game. It doesn't matter to me.
So again, I ask you, why would Roger Stone need a second pardon?
Stone was afraid his involvement with Stop the Steal was about to get him arrested again. He was writing the president for help.
You can read that, see what you think. I'm going to take a quick shower. Don't go through the drawers, okay?
I wonder what he's got in the drawer.
Asking for a second pardon. This time, even before he had been charged. Presenting it as part of an elaborate plan to save the entire Trump movement.
Months in advance, President Trump was...
So I ask you that question. Then we move forward, Shady. We move forward with more information. Why did General Flynn's brother, Charles, who was the Army COO, allegedly delay the National Guard deployment? How many promotions did General Charles Flynn get after January 6th? Colonel Earl Matthews called out the Flynn network for false testimonies and optics excuses. So why ignore that in official reports? Was this to trap patriots inside the Capitol while blaming Trump? Flynn pushed 5GW tactics. Were associates on the front lines part of their plan? So, Shady, this is General Flynn's Earl Matthews, who's now the head lawyer at the Pentagon. Okay, General Flynn, this is not a fight I asked for or welcome, but rather one that thrust upon me when your protege and close collaborator, Laura Loomer, chose to publicly attack me, specifically mentioned your brother in the context of my January 6th testimony to the Loudermilk Committee. The Loudermilk Committee found that Army leaders intentionally delayed the deployment of the D.C. National Guard on January 6th for a reason of optics. Although not in the chain of command, your brother, as our Army's chief operating officer, was very much involved in this delay. He later falsely testified to Congress that he played an active role in getting the D.C. National Guard to the Capitol. He played no such role. Your brother also falsely testified that he was not an active participant in the crucial or critical 2:30 p.m. telephone call with Chief Sund, despite multiple people testifying under oath that he was. Liz Cheney's J6 committee knew about this, but ignored your brother's falsehoods because the committee was squarely focusing on targeting President Trump with your narrative, who had nothing to do with the delay of the D.C. National Guard, as I state in my sworn testimony. Lastly, your protege falsely claims that I'm a disciple of Mark Milley, which everyone in D.C. knows is ridiculous. I note for you that there is no officer in our Army closer to Mark Milley than Charlie Flynn. Milley revived his career when he had stagnated, made him a G3 of the Army, and was advocated for his election to full general, personally asking acting Secretary of Defense Chris Miller to make sure Charlie was nominated and promoted before Biden was inaugurated. I can say a great deal more if you'd like me to. Then we go here. This is Roger Stone's connection. Joshua James, Stuart Rhodes, Tom Caldwell, Jessica Watkins, Donovan Crowell, right? All these guys, okay? This is Enrique Tarrio, Nicholas OCH's, Ox from Hawaii, Nicholas DiCarlo, Ethan Nordine, Joseph Biggs. They're all there. Dominic Pizzola, all of them, guys. Went to Gates to push the pardon. Where's Matt Gates today? Not in the administration, is he? Proud Boys, Oath Keepers, okay? Then you've got this. Lieutenant General Charles Flynn slated to command U.S. Army Pacific and 14 other promotions. January 26, 2021. Job well done, Shady? And then you got this. Poso, Brian Gamble, Tim, I-70, Brian Gamble, okay? Brian Gamble, CIO of Flynn's America Project. Enrique Tarrio, Proud Boys, and possible federal informant. This is Brian Gamble right here, okay? This is Tim, I-70. They were in the breach. And right down here is Ray Epps. Are they all in it together, Shady? Can we ask that question?
I think I need you to reread the very first sentence all the way to the end of the first sentence of the Colonel Matthews statement again, just for context.
General Flynn, this is not a fight that I asked for or welcomed, but rather one that was thrust upon me when your protege and close collaborator, Laura Loomer, chose to publicly attack me and specifically mentioned your brother in the context of my January 6th testimony to the Loudermilk Committee.
Interesting. Now, your protege, Laura Loomer. So Laura Loomer is now currently out there attacking and reposting the Ivan Raiklin video and declaring, quote, Flynn Network.
Yeah.
So the protege, that was a little over a year ago, I think December-ish, 20.
It was April 18th, 2025.
April 25. Okay, there you go. You can clearly see that it was well known that Laura Loomer is a Flynn protege, but now all of a sudden she's anti-Flynn because what they're doing is Roger Stone and Laura Loomer are trying to somehow make themselves closer to Trump. They want to appear like they're connected to Donald Trump.
Yeah. Finn says a few bucks for Jeff's new clothes fund. Thank you so much, man.
Oh, no.
Well,
Finn gave us money?
Yeah, thank you, Finn. Appreciate you, brother.
God bless you, sir.
Magic Women gifted 5 subscriptions to the MG Show. Thank you. And then Ducks as well. And I missed a couple. I think Cram did a couple, and I missed a couple of others. Thank you guys so much.
Funny.
Hey, remember when I asked you about those magnets, Shady?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Do you guys want them? Do you guys want to buy one of these magnets?
No, I doubt it. You think they might want some magnets?
One of these magnets,
They
guys?
told us they wanted magnets.
They did. I saw a lot of 17s.
Yeah, I remember, and you said you were going to hold them to it or something.
I was going to hold them to it.
Yeah.
So we've got, speaking of Magic Woman, we've got this. This is thingsofholding.com/MG show. Get your magnet right now. Okay. There's a small batch of handmade, made in the USA. Your purchase directly supports us, guys. Us's. Okay. $8, guys. That's it. And then you can go over and get some other cool stuff like, the F-bomb jar, guys. Look at this. You got some cool things like your approval is not required magnet. You got this one, Shady. If everything is fine, it's fine. Everything's fine. Probably. I don't know, right? And then what do we talk about this? Chaos was the plan all along for them, guys. So you got that too. And I drink coffee for your safety. And don't forget your stool sample. So guys, here's the website again, thingsofholding.com/MG show. Get them while they're hot. Guys, I'm going to drop the link in as well.
Get them while they are. And the creator of these beautiful these beautiful magnets is right here in chat today, I think. Isn't she?
Yeah, let's get her busy. Get her.
Yeah,
come on.
She needs to be working, not listening to this show all the time.
Let's get her shipping MG show magnets. Come on. thingsofholding.com/MG show. Boom. Shady.
Yeah.
Love it.
We're so
Thank you.
excited.
We are so excited.
We're going
and
to
I
get
just
magnets
can't
for our
hide it.
microphones.
Yeah, we should.
Yeah.
We should.
Because they're trying to use our clips and cut out our bottom third.
And guys, before we go on too, because we're almost at the top of the hour, I just want to get this one done because they can cancel your accounts, guys. Freeze your cards, decide what you're allowed to say or support. Big banks and financial institutions have total control and they use it. That's why financial independence matters more now than ever. Introducing the Rumble Wallet, a Rumble Wallet that's built for freedom, real freedom. With Rumble Wallet, you control your money, not a bank, not a government, not a tech company. Buy digital assets like Tether Gold. We love the Tether Gold, by the way. And Bitcoin in one secure place, no permission, no middleman, no cancel button. And when you want to support your favorite creators you actually believe in, the MG show. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge, wink, wink. You can use the Rumble Wallet app to directly tip content creators securely, instantly, and without interference. This isn't a credit line that they can shut off. It's your wallet permanently, guys. It's yours to protect your future. It's yours to protect your family. When the system fails, when the institutions turn on their own people, financial sovereignty is the difference between security and vulnerability. Rumble Wallet isn't about politics, guys. It's about freedom, ownership, and protecting what's yours. So take control today. Download that Rumble Wallet now. Step away from the big banks for good, true ownership, true protection, and true financial freedom.
We're on a journey here. We're on a journey to be able to accomplish something that no one else in America has ever been able to accomplish. And what that means is that means that the president of the United States speaking for you. We don't want this to be the situation just for the time that we currently have Donald Trump. We want this to be the situation of America going forward, where we have this dialogue going back and forth with the president of the United States and the people that support him. You can talk to the people that hate you. That's fine. You talk to them all you want to. But the reality of the situation is the people that are telling you to do what it is that you're doing are the people that are important. And I stand with Donald Trump. I do not feel like that what he is doing in Iran is outside of the bounds of what I voted for. I feel like that I've stood up and voted for a person that would utilize the power of America to develop a peace through strength agenda, America-centric agenda to perpetrate on the world as a good guy, not being the bully in the room. We want to be the good guy that punches the bully in the mouth. And to do that, you've got to spend some political capital and you got to have some foresight of the future.
So would calling for Trump's impeachment be something wrong?
I would assume, yes, that would
Well,
be
let's just
wrong.
cap off this Roger Stone thread with Trump. Roger Stone talking to, saying that he's going to go call Rod Rosenstein and support President Trump's impeachment. Here you go.
Interesting.
Understand people I do. Rod should hold a press conference.
The volume is bad. Sorry, guys.
That's what I would do. That's what I would do. I'm going to do it. I'm supporting impeachment. I'm supporting impeachment. He must be removed. His son Jared must be prosecuted. I want to know how money changed hands on Bannon. I want a federal investigation. I'm filing a complaint with the FBI this afternoon. Fuck these people. Fuck these people. Right. So. Right, exactly. Which is why I'm for the impeachment. I want impeachment. I'm going to work very hard for it. I'm not kidding. He betrayed Bernie, betrayed Rudy, he betrayed everybody. So he has to go. He has to go. He has to go. Run again. You'll get your fucking brains beat in. Right, which is good, unfortunately, for Pat, because he's easy to find. Fuck these people. Let's be very clear. There is no Vatican, cocksucker. It's one sentence. One sentence. So if you're in a meeting and he says that, you punch him in the mouth as hard as you can to make your point. It's one sentence. We're not stupid. There is no paperwork, you cocksucker. He needs to be impeached. He needs to be denounced and impeached. The greatest single mistake in history. Greatest single mistake. He's surrounded by morons and himself by morons. And a good long sentence in prison, he'll give him a chance to think of it. Because the Southern District for him, and he did nothing. Let's fight. Fuck you and your abortionist bitch.
Yeah. And we'll be right back after these beautiful boom messages.
Hello to all of you beautiful patriots out there.
First of all, let me just thank you all for supporting this show. We wouldn't be here without you. But I have a huge announcement regarding donations.
It has come to our attention that using the Rumble app is taking an additional 30% of your donation to the show.
Let me explain. According to our TOS, Rumble takes 20% of all donations made through the web browser.
And that's at 20%. It's a good deal if you consider other platforms like YouTube and such.
There is a hidden cost that we just found out. For example, we received the generous $500 donation from Spill Tea, and thank you so much for that, from the Rumble app on Apple. So Rumble took 20%, and Apple took an additional 30%. We brought that to Rumble, and they said, well, Rumble's take of tips and donations is 20%. That's if the transaction is done through the web browser. If using the Android or iOS app, it's an additional 30% collected by those platforms.
So please use the web browser to make your donations to the show and avoid the hidden fees by Apple and Android.
That's right. You can also support us at GiveSendGo/HelpMGShow, mg.show/donate. We have PayPal and Cash App. Both are at RealMGShow or $RealMGShow. Please help us out. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
The MG Show. Not funded by dark money, but funded by listeners like you.
For the first time ever, we're bringing you MyPillow mattresses and mattress toppers for as low as $99.98. Remember, sleep's all about temperature and pressure points. Whatever sleep needs you have, we have the right technology for you. Like our MyPillow mattress topper, our queen size has over 10,000 individual comfort supports to help relieve your pressure points. And how about our 3-inch Hybrid Plus mattress topper? It's infused with copper and silver to help your body get the restorative sleep it needs. And our MyPillow and Case Coil mattresses, I personally helped develop these mattresses to make sure they have everything needed to give us great sleep. Plus, they're made right here in the USA, and they ship right to your front door absolutely free. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use this promo code to get MyPillow mattresses and toppers for as low as $99.98 and free shipping.
Remember, thumbs up if you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to ring that bell. Stay tuned, we're going to start right now.
Yo, salute the stars, but not the man in the chair. General Black Pill dropping gloom everywhere. Day one, no perp walks, the plan is dead. While the DOJ is building cases that actually spread. You tweet from the bench like a ref gone rogue. Shut it down now. Bro, read the code, Bonnie's a SCOTUS. Cash got the files, but you want TV justice in 99 miles. They're slow, they're weak, replace them all. Meanwhile, real win stacking, you just install another doom scroll thread for the faithful few who still think storming pulpits mean arrests ensue. General Black Pill, spilling despair like it's a mission fulfilled. Trump's in the White House, golden age begun, but you keep crying the deep state's won. Black Pill, swallow it down while the rest of us build in this MAGA town. General Black Pill. Step aside, clown. Son's out here raging, demanding the cuffs. You back him up quick, no thinking enough. Arrest Lemon last night. Calm down, chief. We ain't the left. We play for keeps. Face at convictions already in motion. Pastor got Bondi agents in devotion. But nah, you gotta quote tweet the doubt. Stir up the base, watch the infight sprout. Used to be trust the plan, now it's trust me instead. While you're quoting Massey just to paint Trump red. Lifelong Dem vibes creeping back through. Sabotage dressed up in red, white, and blue. General Black Pill, turning hope to ash, what a bitter thrill. We got the House, the Senate, the chair, but you still complain like you just don't care. Black Pill, hand it around while winners keep winning on solid ground. General Black Pill, fade to black drown. Look, General, we get it. You took hits, you bled red for the fight, but tearing down your own side every night, that ain't loyalty. That's just spite. Real patriots grind through the fog and the weight, not rage. Posted unity breaks at the gate. So take your black caps or go dark on your own. We'll keep building America. You're on your own. No more General Black Pill, no more despair. We got Trump in command. Breathing fresh air, us coming. Steady, not rush, not fake. Justice served cold on a golden steak. White pill rising, black pill dying. MAGA forever, no more crying. General Black Pill, your time is through. The storm passed, now enjoy the view.
Oh, stick a fork in him, Shady Grove. He's done. D-U-N-N, done. Done, I tell you what. All right, so I want to real quick just touch on this because it happened today during President Trump. And by the way, go to thingsofholding.com/MG show to get that magnet, guys. Come on.
Get over
How many
there.
orders? Let me know, guys. Let me know. And then order some other magnets, too, to support U.S. business and a great sponsor of this show. Thank you so much. Thingsofholding.com/MG show. So I want to real quick, this morning, they were Iran lies, right? I mean, you got the Khomeini still posting, and he's been passed for weeks now, Shady Grove, for 2 weeks, right? And he's still posting on X. So,
the ghost of Ayatollah.
The ghost of Ayatollah. They really, get on it, So we got a president says that reporter here, let's just listen to the president.
Phase 2.
Here we go. Check it out. Here we go. Let's just check it out. This is hilarious.
Who is Steve Witkoff speaking with, Mr. President?
Speaking with in Iran.
A top person, don't forget.
So who are you speaking with within Iran?
We've wiped out the leadership phase 1, phase 2, and largely phase 3. But we're dealing with the man who I believe is the most respected and the leader. It's a little tough. We've wiped out everybody.
Is that the Supreme Leader?
No, not the Supreme Leader.
So
We don't.
not much talk.
Well, nobody heard of the second Supreme Leader, the son.
Are these direct?
We have not heard from the son. Every once in a while you'll see a statement made, but we haven't. We don't know if he's living. But the people that seem to be running it, and they seem that based on really fact, because things they've said have taken place.
Mr. President,
Again,
Mr. President,
I know you deployed. Because I don't want him to be killed. Okay, I don't want him to be killed.
Mr. President, you deployed.
Nobody wants to be that. Nobody wants that job right now. Nobody's exactly looking forward to being the head of that particular country. But perhaps we'll be able to solve that problem.
Interesting, huh?
Very interesting.
Yeah.
They're having
All
a
right.
hard time finding people to sit in the chair. What? But it's World War III, Jeff. It's World War III. We're in World War III. The bullets are flying. The Iranian invasion of America. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think they're coming through the Gulf Coast, man. I would swear, from what I understand, they're going to be moving in from the west coast of Florida and overtaking Florida first. It's going to be, it's going to be a slog down there in the bogs of Florida, keeping those Iranians off your shore.
That's right. That's right. Real quick, guys, I've seen, get your MG Show magnets right now and directly support us. Thingsofholding.com/MG Show and use code MG Show for 10% off your entire order, guys. Don't forget to use code MG Show. Okay, guys? Thank you. Wow.
Of course you code
Wow,
MG
I forgot
Show.
that. I forgot that.
I can't believe you forgot that.
Yeah. Wow.
We're going to have to deal with this in counseling.
Yeah. Whew. All right. So counseling. So we've got President Trump was leaving there, asked the question about Iran. Things that are being asked of are being done. So there is somebody. They just need better PR, according to President Trump as well. But they're just trying to sabotage Trump at every little corner, guys. But Trump was on his way to Memphis for a safe task force roundtable, and we're going to bring you to that right now, Shady.
All right.
Here we go. Uh-oh. I don't want to be... Here we go.
Wow, that was a nice place with the best sound system. I don't know who did. Sounds like the finest opera hall in anywhere in the world. Let's come back here more often. So often you have sound systems that aren't the greatest. And there's nothing worse, making a speech when nobody can hear you. This is beautiful and it's a great place. And Memphis has to like me because I have a lot of friends here and they were not happy a year ago, 2 years ago, 4 years ago. And now they said, we can't believe what's happened in terms of crime, in terms of what's gone on and the job that these people and some of the great people, many of the great people in the audience have done. And that's why I'm here today. In fact, we were going to cancel because we have a couple of events going on, as you probably noticed. So they said, oh, we'll cancel Memphis. I said, we're not canceling Memphis for anything. We're not canceling. We're not going to cancel Memphis, but we do have some big things happening, and very positive, I have to say. So before getting to our important discussion this morning, let me provide a brief update on Operation Epic Fury, which is a very good name, as it turns out. That was a name. They showed me 20 names. Sir, what name would you like? I didn't like any of them. And then I get toward the end, I said, you got to be kidding. What? Operation Epic Fury. I love that name. And it's very appropriate for what's taken place, if you know, in Iran, because we knocked out their Navy, we knocked out their Air Force, we knocked out their anti-aircraft, we knocked out everything. And we did it with fury, actually. As I announced earlier, based on preliminary conversations between the United States and Iran over the past 2 days, I've directed the Department of War to temporarily postpone planned strikes against major energy and electricity targets in Iran. They have very, very big, new, actually, and very expensive, billions of dollars it costs to build them. One missile, one of our powerful ones, and it comes down to the ground like it was made out of dust. But to determine whether a broader agreement can be reached, we've had very good discussions, very, very good discussions. And you have to understand, I know my whole life has been a negotiation, but with Iran, we've been negotiating for a long time. And this time, they mean business. And it's only because of the great job that our military did is the reason they mean business. They want to settle, and we're going to get it done, I hope. So, hopefully this will be possible, but no matter what, we'll ensure that Iran never obtains a nuclear weapon. They can't have a nuclear weapon. They would have had one if we allowed the Obama deal to stand. That was the Iran nuclear deal, they called it. They would have had one. Marcia 3. Well, I'll tell you what, Martha, we would have nuclear weapons up there when would you say 2 years ago, 3 years ago, or 4 years ago, we would have been in a position that nobody wants to be in? We won't allow ourselves to be in that position. Over the past 3 weeks, the United States military and our partners have been decimating Iran's military capabilities with overwhelming firepower, skill, lethality, and force, and we're destroying their ballistic missiles and drones programs with launchers down by more than 90%. We're hitting their launchers at a level that nobody even thought of before. 90%. They can't launch them, and they don't have very many of them because most of them have been annihilated. But we've annihilated their defense industrial base, eliminating their navy. We had 158 ships are down. I said to my people, why didn't you capture the ship? I said, were they good or not? They said, they were great, sir. So why didn't you capture it? We could have used them. They said, it's more fun to put them at the bottom of the sea. But they're not there anymore. So we eliminated their navy, Pete, right? And that's gone. We eliminated their air force. We eliminated all of their air defense, everything. We eliminated everything there is to eliminate, and we eliminated them. We eliminated their leaders. We had the first set of leaders. They're gone. Then they met, 88 people met. And it's sad. I mean, it's sad they couldn't have made a deal. We could have made a deal with them a long time ago. Then the second set, 88 people met to pick a new leader. And they're now extinguished. And then they're meeting again, but now nobody wants to be the leader. It's one of the few political jobs that nobody wants anywhere in the world. Nobody wants it. It's a very dangerous job. My job is dangerous too, but their job is worse. In other words, we're systematically dismantling the regime's ability to threaten America. They're not threatening us anymore. As Commander-in-Chief, it's my sacred responsibility to protect our country from all threats. For decades, Iran refused every opportunity to renounce its nuclear ambitions, and in recent months, its own negotiators bragged to our representatives about having enough material to make nuclear weapons. And that was supposed to deter me, but it didn't deter. It made me more anxious, and it just made it much more important. This mission that we're all on together was much more important, and we did it quicker. Iran's missile capabilities were also growing so fast that it would soon have become virtually impossible to stop them. Once they have a missile, once they have what they were building was incredible. And you got a little glimpse of it by the fact that when they came out, they started shooting all of their neighbors. Their neighbors weren't fighting with them. They were getting along okay with their neighbors. And I was surprised. They were everybody was surprised. And it actually worked in reverse because their neighbors then turned against them. Now Iran has one more opportunity to end its threats to America and our allies, and we hope they take it. Either way, America and the entire world will soon be much safer and will be a much more secure planet. In addition to all of this, we're working on so many different things. You know, our economy was fantastic. We had a Dow at 50,000. They say it couldn't happen in 4 years. It wouldn't happen during my term. But if I got anywhere close, it would be a great success. Well, in my first year, we hit 50,000. And with the S&P, they said, even more difficult. They said it would be impossible to hit 7,000 on the S&P. And we hit that in our first term. And then, unfortunately, I called Pete, I called General Kane, I called a lot of our great people. We have great people. And I said, let's talk. We got a problem in the Middle East. We have a country known as Iran that for 47 years has been just a purveyor of terror, and they're very close to having a nuclear weapon. We can keep going and get that 50,000 up to 55 and 60. There's no end. Or we can take a stop and make a little journey into the Middle East and eliminate a big problem. And Pete, I think you were the first one to speak up. And you said, let's do it, because you can't let them have a nuclear weapon. So we are now having really good discussions. They started last night, a little bit, the night before that. And I think they're very good. They want to They want peace. They've agreed they will not have a nuclear weapon, et cetera, et cetera. But we'll see. You have to get it done. But I would say there's a very good chance. And it began when I said that I won't be. We were planning tomorrow on shooting down some of their power plants, and we're going to hold that up. Hopefully we won't have to do it. And hopefully we can make a deal that's good for all of us, including the Middle Eastern allies that have been very good to us, including Israel, that's been a great partner in this fight. They've really been a good partner in the fight. They fought hard. But we'll see what happens. I think there's a very good chance we're going to end up in a deal. And so we're giving it 5 days, and then we're going to see where that takes us. And I would say at the end of this period, I think it could very well end up being a very good deal for everybody, as good as if we went all the way and just literally annihilated the place, which if we don't have to do that, that would be a good thing, not a bad thing. In addition, after the appalling lines and massive disruptions at major airports nationwide last weekend, I am again demanding that Democrats in Congress immediately end their disgraceful shutdown of the Department of Homeland Security and restore the full funding for airport security and the TSA. They are holding it up because they want to take care of illegal immigrants coming into our country. They want to take care of criminals that are in sanctuary cities. They want to take care of transgender for everybody, literally the mutilization of our children, men in women's sports. But what they don't want to do is give us anything to do with citizenship for voting or voter ID. Can you imagine? We're the only country that doesn't do voter ID. Every country does voter ID. Brought to my attention today that we're the only country that does mail-in voting. Mail-in voting means mail-in cheating. I call it mail-in cheating. And we got to do something about it all, and it's part of Homeland Security. And I'm suggesting strongly to the Republican Party, don't make any deal on anything. The most important thing we can have is what's called the Save America Act. Don't make any deal on anything.
No deals.
Unless you include voter ID, and you have to be a citizen to vote. You have to show citizenship to vote. Very easy to do. It's very insulting when they say people can't do it because they don't know how to do it. Anybody that can't do it, I think it's a very insulting thing to say. The Democrats are fully to blame with the struggle of the great American public is going through at the airports. They're going through a big struggle right now, and we just put ICE in charge, and they're helping TSA, the agents, and they're working together so far very well. I actually suggested that in the airports,
I think that's great, by the way.
Masks, and they did that. In the airports, I'm a big believer in the mask because we have, Biden allowed hundreds of thousands of killers into our country. We're rapidly getting them out, by the way. But they would go after these people if they knew exactly who they were. But in the airports, it's different. I didn't love the look in the airport as you get off the plane. So I made a request and they agreed to it. So they're not going to be doing that. We would also bring out, if we don't have enough, we will bring out the National Guard and where we need it to help out at the airports. But we're not going to let this happen. It's extortion by the Democrats. They're holding up money that's already been approved, and now they're willing to go $5 billion reduction in ICE in order to get the approval on a deal that they approved, the great big beautiful deal, which is the biggest tax cut in history, the biggest regulation cut in history. They want to basically renegotiate a deal that they already approved, and they're doing it largely for a criminal element. So also the Democrats are putting our country at great risk during this period of time, a period that they call a war. They call it a war. We call it a military operation. Their leaders during this time are, as
I'd like to jump in real quick, if I could.
As you want to say.
I'd like to just jump in and just articulate a little bit of a larger dynamic of what the president is saying to us right here. If you pay attention to what he's explaining to you, he's explaining to you that we're in a moment now where all of the people that are against us agree. Okay, this is very critical to what I feel like it was that we came here, or that Donald Trump promised us that he was going to do. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter to me as much as people are, quote, locked up, as it matters to me that they are discredited. And I really do feel like right now we are in, I was like sitting there last night and kind of just like trying to like get a sense of like, what we've watched happen over the last couple of weeks here. It's pretty outstanding, to be honest with you. It's pretty incredible to see that effectively, if you pull back far enough, what you will see is that the people that we're currently dealing with that are making all of this noise on Twitter, X, and social media are in agreement with the left almost 100%. Probably not 100%, like 96%, but an unbelievable amount of agreement is currently occurring. And I think that what we have to do is we have to disregard people's words, pay attention to their actions. And what you're currently seeing is that the actions are that everybody that has TDS is trying to stop us from being able to win the midterms and for Donald Trump's amazing agenda to continue after Donald Trump's term in office. And really, honestly, he's calling it directly out right there. And it's hard to fight an enemy whenever you can't really distinguish where they all are. But when you got them all agreeing on something, it's a lot easier to stand up against the wall of BS.
That's right. And they're all coming together. Shady. It was very interesting, too. Everybody's like, oh, Trump made a misspelling today. He spelled witch, WHIWITCH, instead of, witch. But he did update that later. But if you go look at witch hunt, no deals. Does that make any sense today?
That makes a lot of sense today.
Didn't he just say no deals?
He literally just said it.
So this was this morning, Shady Groove.
It was.
I'm pleased to report the United States of America and the country of Iran have had, over the last 2 days, very good and productive conversations regarding complete and total resolution of our hostilities in the Middle East based on the tenor and tone of these in-depth, detailed, and constructive conversations, which will continue throughout the week. I have instructed the Department of... But he was talking about no deals with who? The people that did the witch hunt, Shady Groove, the Democrats. He was talking about no deals on the bill, Shady Groove.
And a lot of this stuff is
Save America.
We just heard the whole thing with Comey, right? I'm just really trying to like paint the picture of why is it so important for Ivan Raiklin to target Dan Bongino and get people there and try to get clips. Remember whenever Ivan Raiklin did the thing that he did in the courtroom with Michael Ferrone or whatever, then he had the whole moment where he had Enrique, right as Enrique got out of prison, he brought him down to the Michael Ferrone. These are psychological operators. What they're doing is they're trying to generate clicks. And right now they've lost their guy on the inside, Kent, and they're all circling the wagons around him. But truth be told, this dude has got a large run here, it looks like, of leaking to Candace Owens, possibly to Tucker Carlson. So if he is literally leaking information, then these people are going to be activated trying to discredit the people that would be the law enforcement that would hold them accountable. Law enforcement is Pam Bondi. So Ivan Raiklin has done his dead level best to try to paint the picture, to call her Scam Blondie. It might be not that he disagrees with her or doesn't like her. It might be that he's afraid of her.
Yeah. And
very possible.
And she's seated right to President Trump's left right there, Shady Groove.
I noticed.
By the way, Eden Vision, good afternoon, gentlemen, in the Matrix and Shady. Thank you for never giving in nor giving up. Thank you, Eden's Vision. Appreciate you. Again, guys, we were talking about the emails before we go back to President Trump. If you guys want to send an email about how you found us and would you recommend us and what you think about us, whatever, whichever way, connect@mgshow.com. Excuse me. I did it. Connect@mg.show. No.com. mg.show. Connect@mg.show. I got myself, Shady Grove.
You did. You psy-hopped yourself.
I psy-hopped myself. Eden Vision is now a monthly supporter. Thank you so much for that. Red Castles for everyone.
It was really amazing. It was amazing to be able to read like I really would be curious to know if any other show gets email that says that because I listen and pay attention to you guys, I have a hard time paying attention or listening to anybody else because they're talking about nonsense.
Yeah.
Like you realize whenever people are dragging you around talking about nonsense, and we we're not trying to say that we perfectly prioritize everything, but we can clearly see when people are counter messaging Donald Trump, and we were the first ones to be calling that stuff out because you guys helped us, by the way. You know, it was like because of all of us together, we found the truth. And then you were supplying us all these different things that uncovered aspects of it. And to realize, Jeff, how many people were harmed by them.
Yeah.
We want to say this many times to understand that we're speaking up against this network because people were harmed. People had legitimate complaints against government events that happened to them. And they took it to Flynn's crew and said, oh, well, could you help us? And then they took the information and worked on burying any type of like ability the person had to get their story out.
That's right. That's right. And we were harmed. See, you know, violence, the true definition of violence, it's not beating somebody up bloody or anything. It's violence is violating your rights. That's what the legal definition of violence is, guys. And they violated our rights by attacking us, Shady.
They sure did.
Media Matters, they implored violence against this show, against me, against you, against everybody in here, against authority, everybody, guys. And
censorship.
It's called censorship, and that is violence. And it's also brainwashing. You know, if you leave out certain things, you know, to provide your narrative, that is brainwashing. It's mind control. Censorship is still mind control, Shady.
Yes. And it's also, you know, it's also part of what they were doing during the, it's part of what it's, again, remember, actions, not words. Jeff just mentioned leaving things out. Like, you know, General Flynn wants to claim that you're in World War III, but it leaves out all the stuff like that shows that you're not in World War III. Mm-hmm. The same thing was going on in a lot of these court cases, wasn't it? These FISA cases, they were purposely leaving out exculpatory evidence. Yep. So their modus operandi in the media, whether it be left or right media, is they will constantly leave out the thing that they should tell you that gets rid of their whole narrative.
That's right. And we're right again, Shady. It's crazy.
I love it.
All right, back to President DJ.
We'll be wrong again one day, I'm sure.
They're in a never land. Schumer is gone.
I like
He's a Palestinian. He should be fighting on the side of Palestine. He's actually become a Palestinian leader. I don't know. I've never seen a man change so much. He used to be pro-Israel. Now he's pro-Palestine. I've never seen anything like it. And you know, he's worried he's going to lose this next election, which it only depends if anybody runs against him. If anybody runs against him, he'll lose. But he's gone very wacky and very dangerous for our country. But we want all of those things. We have to have them. We want voter ID. We want proof of citizenship as part of our funding. We want to merge them so that we can get the great, big, beautiful bill in action, and we can get the America and Save America. You know, they called it the SAVE Act, but nobody knew what the SAVE Act was. So I said, you have to call it, you have to, under any circumstances, you have to call it the Save America Act, because everybody knows what that is. So they want funding taken away from the ICE Patriots who are responsible for getting rid of the criminals that Sleepy Joe Biden, the worst president in the history of our country, and his gang of thugs in the White House. You talk about weaponization. They weaponized everybody. You know, when Pam looks at somebody, oh, it's weaponization. They've indicted me. What they've done to me and everybody else, it's a disgrace. They're the weaponizers. And what they've done to people, can never let that happen again. We can never let them get away with it again. They are the greatest weaponizers. Fortunately, it didn't work because here I am with you.
Because he's the GOAT.
Didn't work out too well.
Well said.
But they want to have people come into our country. And so many of these people are murderers. They're drug dealers. They're the worst criminals anywhere in the world. They want them in our country. They don't want them to come out. They make it almost impossible, but we get them out anyway. They should have never been allowed to enter our sacred ground. These people should have never, they came from all over the world. They came from all over. They came from the Congo in Africa. They came from all over South America, Asia, everywhere. And they were from jails and mental institutions. They were drug dealers. They were murderers. 11,888 murderers. In any event, the Democrats are being blamed by the American people for the catastrophe going on right now at our airports and at other points of transportation and beyond. And we want the public to know we're not going to let them out of this trap that they created for themselves. And I'm suggesting very strongly that the Republicans, in going for the Save America Act, that you weld it into exactly this, because voter ID is part of Homeland Security. Think of it. We're talking about two separate items, but they're really the same. Voter ID is part of Homeland Security. And citizenship, proof of citizenship, is part of Homeland Security. So I think it should be welded in. I think it should be together. You should vote together, because the public has not liked what they've done at the airports. And they've done it, and the public understands it. They've gotten wise to them. Republicans do not settle with Democrats and let them out of this hole that they've buried themselves in. You have to take the votes in the Senate to approve. You need votes to approve. We have to get Democrat votes. And at a certain point, if you could get rid of the filibuster, it would be great. It would be great. Get rid of the filibuster and get it all done. So we'll get it done. We want another thing. We can, or we don't have to, add those other items. And by the way, they say they're 80-20 items. They're not 80-20. They're 99-1. Men playing in women's sports is a 99-1. You look at transgender mutilization of our children, that's a 99-1. And we have that in the bill, too. So they won't sign it. Then let the people reject them. And what we have to do is we have to win the midterms. This is the most important election, because all of the gains that we've made, we built the greatest economy, the greatest military. I built the military in my first term, and we built the greatest military in the world. We're showing it now with Venezuela, with Iran. Everybody knows we have the greatest, most powerful military in the world. And we're in a position that we haven't seen. We're respected. You know, our country now is respected all over the world. A year and a half ago, we were a laughingstock. We were a laughingstock. The King of Saudi Arabia told me a year and a half ago, he said, "President, I can't believe what's happened to America. 1 year ago, you were a laughingstock. Nobody thought you could ever survive. Now you're the hottest country." He used that expression. He said, "Now you're the hottest country anywhere in the world." And we are now. Congratulations, because we're all partners in this deal. You're the hottest country anywhere in the world. It's really amazing. So I congratulate you. It's a great feeling, because we were laughed at for 4 years with this guy that should have never been president.
I want to make a comment, too, in chat. Thank you guys very much. Magic Woman says, I'm boggled by how hard it seems for people to understand these simple concepts. The only thing I can think of is it must be willful ignorance. Or do you think it's paid for by foreign and domestic billionaires to take a certain stand?
Yeah, it is.
Okay. That's why President Trump's, they're always in alignment together. They're all, because they're not going to get money, okay, by foreign and domestic billionaires. And that should be illegal too. That's Homeland Security as well, Shady Groove.
And let's also remember that foreign and domestic billionaires get a lot of their money from U.S. aid.
Yep.
So
and taxpayers. Yep.
Right. And so a lot of the funding for these different things. So in other words, you know, if you were on the receiving end of funding and all of a sudden there's no more USAID funding, guess what doesn't come? The check. And when the check doesn't come, you get aggravated, but you can't go out and you can't scream and yell, "Oh, my check didn't come from USAID." So you do different things, like start calling her Scam Blondie.
Interesting.
Or attacking Kash Patel. Or saying that Susie Wiles, there's something wrong with Susie Wiles because, you know, Susie Wiles is part of the administration that got my funding taken away.
That's right.
Those are the things that mean things.
And Joe Kent, with saying, you know, Iran is not dangerous, is the same thing John Brennan is saying. Let that sink in, guys.
And Tucker Carlson. And all of the different people that Q explained to us were a large contingent of communists in America that were propping up a fake regime in Iran so that they could continue to escalate and create havoc for America and for Americans and Israelis to have to always live in fear. But whenever all of a sudden you take away the thing that they were using to make you afraid, the people that were using the thing to make you afraid get upset. And that's what we are watching. That makes more sense. You want to talk about Occam's razor?
Yeah.
That's the most simplest explanation is the obvious one. That's the most simple explanation, that these people have had their funding removed and that they've had their power removed and that they've had their platform removed and they're just plain butthurt.
Yep. All right, here we go. Check it out.
So I'm tying Homeland Security into voter identification with picture and proof of citizenship in order to vote. And those two items are the most important thing having to do with Homeland Security. So it should be part of the Homeland Security bill. And I'm requesting that the Republican senators do that immediately. You don't have to take a fast vote. Don't worry about Easter going home. In fact, make this one for Jesus, okay? Make this one for Jesus. That's what I tell them.
Somebody said, who am I talking about? Be specific. Hang on.
The most important part of Homeland Security is voter ID and proof of citizenship. Nobody can vote on Homeland Security without voter ID or proof of citizenship. And you can't have Homeland Security without voter ID or proof of citizenship. So we're tying them together. So now, if you don't mind, let's get to the reason why I'm in Memphis and why you're doing so well. Because Fred Smith, everybody know Fred Smith? He was a friend of mine, and he created from a sort of failed report at like Harvard or whatever. He did a business report, a concept he had, that was his thesis, a concept he had to build a company, and it was FedEx. So he gave this thing where he takes packages, he delivers them. Who the heck knows what he put down? Bottom line is they gave him a lousy mark. I don't know if they passed him or not, but they didn't give him a good mark. They say, this is the most ridiculous business plan we've ever seen. Fred, go back to the drawing board and try something else, because this won't work. Well, he decided to go for it, and he built FedEx, and it's an amazing story. And he was a very good friend of mine. But he would tell me that he didn't know what to do about Memphis. It was so dangerous that they would have a board meeting, and the board members, they were demanded that they could not walk 1 block to their hotel. You know the hotel I'm talking about. It was so dangerous. And now they tell me this is like an entirely different place. It's like Washington, D.C. In Washington, D.C., we had the same thing, and now it's amazing. It's such an honor to. If only more governors. Your governor called, and he said, we love it. Your mayor has been terrific. Your mayor has been terrific. But look at the results that you've got. Look at the results. And everybody should do it. You know, if I was Chicago, Pritzker, he's a failed governor. All he has to do is say, President, we're having a problem in Chicago. Could you come in and fix it? We'd have it fixed in 2 months. It would be good. It would be good in 2 months. It would be great in 4 months. You'd have almost no crime. But he can't do it. And it just keeps going the same way. So that's the reason I'm here, to tell you how well you've done, how well we've done. I mean, I just came in and people greeted me, sir, thank you very much for what you've done. I said, oh, where are you from? Memphis. What did I do? You stopped crime. And your sheriffs are so thankful. And oh, you haven't seen it yet. You know, we've just been here a short while. In another 2 or 3 months, you're going to have, like, no crime. And, you know, we take these criminals. Is that our handsome senator down there, Bill? Is that our handsome Senator Bill? You got both of them down, but you're going to have a new governor here soon, I guess, huh? You're going to have a very new governor. Would you two stand up as senators? Please stand up. Two of the greatest people. Two of the greatest people. They never let me down, you know? Some let me down. They never let me down. Thank you. Last September, my administration launched the initiative modeled on D.C. Safe Task Force in our nation's capital. One of the most amazing things, I mean, I hate to say it, now I can say it, but our nation's capital was one of the most dangerous places on earth. People were being killed. They'd go in from Iowa. They'd go from Indiana to see the Washington Monument. And their parents would get a phone call, they'd been killed. And it was happening a lot. It was really bad. And like this, actually, yours was at a level higher, to be honest with you. It was really bad. but it was happening a lot. And now you walk down Washington, it's like everybody that sees me in Washington, we've been doing that another couple of months longer. Everybody sees me in Washington, they say, thank you, sir, thank you. And I immediately know what. You know, they could thank me for a lot of things. I said, are they thanking me for the economy? I know immediately. We have people working in the White House, young women. They walk, I would say normally beautiful young women. Ever since I got elected, I don't like to say that, because usually when you say a beautiful woman, isn't she beautiful? That's the end of your political career. So I never say that. But young women coming up to me and they're saying, sir, thank you so much. I know immediately what they're talking about. I say, how big a difference is it? They say, we walk to work. We were afraid to walk into an Uber. We were afraid to walk into a car. The car would be, it didn't matter. The car was being robbed when we were in the car. And it was much more than being robbed. Being robbed was the least of it. And we took out over 3,000 people. And you know, there's an expression that 90% of the crime is caused by 2% of the population. And when you hear that, you realize why we can do such a good job. We moved 3,000 people out, permanently out of Washington. These were career criminals. Many of them came in through the Biden open border disaster. They came in, they weren't there. They came in, they said, we want to live in Washington where they'll take good care of us, give us plenty of welfare. And we got them all out. We moved them back to their countries. Sometimes we'd put them in prison because they were so dangerous. We had one person who killed 4 people in a short period of time. Many of the people, 11,888, 50% of them in our country, they came from jails. Other countries opened their jails and let them into our country because Biden and his great border czar, the border czar who never once went to the border, never once called border.
All right, so I'm going to just kind of leave it there for a minute. I'm going to just kind of scrub this a little bit, Shady, to see if the press asks some questions.
Okay.
Central casting.
They're going to be hostile.
Anyway, they had to let you do your job, right? They're letting you do your job now. Thanks as well to Tennessee Governor Bill Lee.
Look at all the DEA evidence.
Look
at that, Shady.
Much, we appreciated your call.
Thank
you very much, Gaddy. Thank you, Mr.
All right,
President.
he's going to go to other people as well.
And visitors. And not only does everyone needs to know, we met with this president multiple times about this endeavor. The president knew what was going on here. The president cared. People like Alice Johnson sitting in the front row, who is a Memphis resident, she told us what a horrible crime problem there was. And I think the unsung hero in all of this is Stephen Miller. Stephen is the architect of making all of these plans work. Stephen, thank you.
Oh, I love Stephen Miller.
And just 2 very brief examples. There was a horrible murderer, Arsenio Davis, who last October committed a gruesome double homicide. He killed his mother and dismembered another.
Let's go to
military you rebuilt, as well as the historic success here in Memphis. And I want to start by thanking every patriot in this room, in law enforcement, and the nearly 1,500 National Guard members for your heroic efforts in this operation. This is more than a task force. This is a statement not just in this city, but across the nation. When I look around this table, I'm looking at people that we work with every day: Governor, Cash, this team, the National Guard, Pam, Stephen, as was mentioned, Gaddy, the Speaker, at the federal level and the state level, working hand in glove. It doesn't happen any other way. You see, before President Trump, our nation was set on a perpetual course of decline. Our defense industrial base had been hollowed out. Our military had lowered its standard, prioritizing equity over merit and lethality. And right here in cities like Memphis, our people were focused on enduring just what seemed to be the status quo of rampant, vicious crime. Well, they let their cities burn to the ground, literally. In the name of hollow humanitarianism, weak leaders, and that's what it is, it's weak leaders, previously provided sanctuary for hordes of dangerous, illegal aliens who preyed on our most vulnerable. Soft on crime, defund the police nonsense tied the hands of our brave law enforcement heroes while the bad guys ran wild. And the most basic tenets of public safety, the foundations of any civilized society, were labeled as too toxic to implement. Well, not under President Trump. Such engineered chaos combined with a wide open border. By the way, thank you for agreeing to sign that declaration.
By the way, Shady Grove. He just talked about a snark magnet, Shady.
I was picking up on that.
All right, go to thing, and that's backwards, guys. But chaos was the plan all along. Go to thingsofholding.com/MG show, guys. And I'm just going to kind of
use code MG show
and use code MG show. Apparently, yes. Mm-hmm. Let's see if we got any.
The second thing I want to thank.
Wait. Let's go, Steve Miller.
Thank you. Well, first and most importantly, thank you to President Trump, whose vision and courage and determination has achieved something that if you had predicted it 15 months ago, people would have said it was impossible. If you had said 15 months ago that we would achieve the lowest national murder rate, not in 5 years or 10 years or 15 or 20 or 30 or 40, but in 125 years, nobody would have believed it possible. And President Trump did exactly that, and it is a miracle. Just think about this for a second. Under President Trump's leadership, the largest reduction in murders in American history, the largest reduction in violent crime in American history, the largest reduction in drug overdose deaths in American history, the largest reduction in fentanyl in American history, the largest reduction in illegal immigration in American history, and the largest number of criminals arrested, removed, or deported in American history, all done in 1 year.
Wow.
Maybe that's why they don't like
I
him.
just say this.
Maybe.
If we had an honest media in this country, the statistics I just gave you would be 24/7 on the news.
Don't be messing with our voters.
Ever predicted such achievement would be possible. The second thing I want to thank President Trump for is assembling the greatest national security and public safety team in American history. Because President Trump believes in merit, in competence, in people who get things done. So you look around the table of who President Trump chose for these jobs. You start with Rob or Gaddy or Pam or Pete, Cash, Todd, Terry, the whole entire team. What President Trump put together has never been rivaled in history.
Boom.
That's how you get things done. He chooses people based on their skill, their competence, their ability, their determination, their dedication, and their loyalty, and you're seeing the results.
We are seeing the results. Java Joe 84, MG show is winning. Thank you, Shady and Jeff. That's a $200 Rumble rant. Oh, my God. Thank you so much, Java Joe 84.
God bless you for supporting.
There is nothing but winning right here on the MG show. And we're always wrong until we're right. But we're right again. And I hate to take a victory lap on being right. I didn't want to be right, Shady.
Well, I mean, effectively, that we didn't want the people that were wrong to open their yapper to begin with, did we?
Oh, no.
You see what I'm saying? Like all the people that were proving wrong, well, they could have STFU, but in fact, they couldn't STFU because they needed to insert an agenda. They needed to make some chaos. You know, whenever things are peaceful and calm and working, that's no bueno. That's not good for the powers that be. They've got to keep you on edge. They've got to keep you scared and concerned and fretting. Fret. Good Lord, if you ever calm down and actually take assessment of what's going on around you and breathe a little bit and recognize that, hey, wait a minute. I don't see World War III. They tell me it's World War III, but I don't see it.
I don't see it either. In fact, they're going to be winding it down, guys. You know, again, this is not your Bush neocon World War III.
This is the greatest World War III ever.
I know, and the shortest. It'll be, and again, you know, I'm going to say this again because we're not there yet, but you will find out that the Iranian uranium, what? I don't.
Not titanium.
Titanium uranium. So the uranium could have ties to your Hillary Clinton. Okay. And your Robert Mueller, who passed away, which is very interesting. Okay. You know, maybe that saved the taxpayers a lot of money. with Robert Mueller. Okay. But interestingly enough, that you're going to find out that there's a lot more corruption there with our Democrat and Republican friends. Okay. Let's just be honest. No Name McCain was in Syria. Okay. Obama sent them money for the nuke program. Where did they get the uranium? It is traceable. Shady, you mentioned that before. And once we find it and once we get it, maybe that's another news unlocking the map, Shady.
Well, I even have another question. Now all these questions, it's like you start asking questions and then it's like, who moved it? Yeah. Who moved the uranium? Is that just something that you go down and you hire Cheech and Chong to go out and move your uranium overseas? Or is that going to be a military operation to move uranium fissile material to other countries? How did it get there? Who picks it up and carries it over there? What kind of container is it in? Who's in charge of those operations? Would that be associated with the military?
Those darn questions. Stop it.
I know. I'm full of them. I'm so sorry.
Again, guys, I want to also thank you guys for this in advance. If you haven't gone to rumble.com/MG show, go there and then go over there and click shorts. Okay. Because you got to love our shorts. All right.
Both of them.
Both of our shorts. Okay.
We have lots of shorts.
We've got
we're required to watch these.
We got some 5.74K. We got some low-lying ones. We got discombobulator. This one hit. Seems like you forgot again, Shady. This one got 6.8,000, 6.4,000 on Chuck Norris. But
that's cool,
guys. Please, we need your help. We need you to like and comment. Watch them again, because we will get some sort of possible, and it's based on how well they do performance. So you see, we need your help on some of that performance, guys.
Oh no, Jeff is asking for performance enhancement
and talking about his shorts.
And speaking of his shorts, the next thing you know, he will mention tentacles.
I'm not going to say it.
Thank you. We will return to this programming message.
We will return to trying to hype up the Rumble shorts. Thank you so much. And, I just think it's great, Shady Groove, because, there's some good questions in here, too, about the 1984. Who are the real fools now? I want to just play this one right now, Shady Groove, okay?
All right.
People were really upset at, which was Q. Pretty interesting, Shady. And that Q operation that was close to Trump, sorry, he still posts memes about Q on his True Social, actually allowed us to understand where we go from the president's election. Okay. He was elected. And then all of a sudden in October, Q starts posting, because we were like, what's going on? If we didn't have Q, we wouldn't be where we are today, guys.
Alex Jones thought that President Trump was a fool. Yeah. General Flynn thought that President Trump was a fool. Tucker Carlson thought that President Trump was a fool. And this numbnut Scott McMahon now thinks Trump is a fool. Guess who the fools really are? I'll leave that for you to decide. Let me know tomorrow.
That's right. Pretty good, guys, right? Okay.
Oh my goodness. He's fired
We should be proud of what we reported on, okay? Oh, you guys are Q-tards. You guys are this. We reported on Q, okay? Period. It happened. The mainstream media doesn't like it just as much as our attackers don't like it. Pretty interesting, isn't it? The mainstream media doesn't like President Trump, just like, our attackers don't like President Trump. It's all starting to make sense. It's all coming out. We have it all. We've got the receipts. Nobody is going to get ahead of the MG show, Shady Groove.
We don't choose a side to bust the psyops. We're equal opportunity psychological operations busters. We're not just like going to protect the ones on our side and go after the ones on the other side.
Yeah. We followed and reported on Q. Why can CNN say that it's crap? If CNN says Q is crap, what does that tell you usually?
Usually that would tell you that you should think the opposite.
Wow. Huh.
What about whenever Media Matters tells you something?
Yeah, I'm just not sure. Like, Media Matters must be,
over the target.
Good. Yeah.
They're right on board with what Brian Gamble or any of the other Michael Flynn Jr.ites would tell you.
And Ivan Raiklin and General Flynn and you name it. Did you see that Joe Rogan is actually saying that Erica Kirk has a wee-wee?
Yep, sure did. And he's also he's saying that I'm disgusted with myself for ever supporting that crap because they've one or two things. Either he's an idiot and doesn't know any better and he's drank the Kool-Aid, or he's part of the overt control that we're speaking of that's trying to turn everybody against Donald Trump. Because all of a sudden, they all go at the same time. Theo Vaughn, Joe Rogan, Glenn Greenwald, all on the same page.
Yeah.
All these ex-Democrats, Megyn Kelly, all these ex-Democrats,
Interesting,
on the same page.
Never Trumpers never went away. They just pretended like they were MAGA, period.
And the J6 violence created by Roger Stone didn't work to stop us.
No, thank God, guys. And if you missed this show, the first hour, go get the first hour. You must watch it. It's a must watch. It builds on Dan Bongino's attack by Flynn Operative, Ivan Raiklin. We're noticing that even in the picture there, one of those gentlemen is a J6er. Okay, so he was there with J6ers. They ambushed him. It wasn't Ivan Raiklin speaking, but it was Ivan Raiklin planning the event there. It's all there, guys. Thank you, Dan Bongino, for alerting what we've known for almost 3 years, Shady.
And we'll continue to expose it right here.
Yeah. Real quick, shout out to people in Ohio. Y'all are some of the snarkiest people ever. Never expected Ohio to be a large order spot. Thank you so much. That's awesome. Nice. Ohio. Oh, I got a joke, Shady. What's round on the end and tall in the middle?
Ohio.
Yes. Is President Hugh in here? Is President-elect Hugh, are you in here?
I'm not sure.
Because we're going out with this song. God bless you all. We played it Friday. We're going to play it again.
This is awesome, by the way.
Yeah.
If you are here or are to be here later, God bless you. This is so amazing. I listened to it a couple times over the week. Jeff, I even put this on in the car.
It's awesome. It sounds good in the car.
Good.
Yeah. And by the way, we have the most red castles. Even Dan Bongino doesn't have as many red castles as this show does, folks. And we're proud of that. God bless you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
For your attention.
We proudly learn with Matrix and Shady. We are always wrong until we are right. Together we wise up so we can rise up as we become unsileable. In the land of the red castles, the truth is learned, it's never told. When God put this team together, it has shattered the mold. Our friendship is forged in battle with a bond that's unbreakable. We all wear God's armor, the Red Castle Republic is unstoppable. If you are hungry for truth, sick and tired of the lies, or if it makes you smile to hear the cry.
One of the tear gas canisters fell at my feet, spewing flames so hot it melted my pants. I set me on fire. They set me on fire.
On fire! Through thick and the thin, join the Red Castle Republic where everyone's friend. The MG so live where everything is shining. It hurts the eyes of the wicked as they flee, they start whining. As we walk through the dark where the blind lead the way, we are waking up people, showing them it will be okay. We sharpen our skills using the gifts God has given. The Red Castle Republic won't rest until we save all of God's children. We listen to the MG show live as they destroy narratives daily. Thank the Lord, we're making America great with our friends Matrix and Shady. In a beautiful place where a band of anons unite. We proudly learn with Matrix and Shady. We are always wrong until we are right. Together we wise up so we can rise up as we become unsileable. In the land of the red castles, the truth is learned, it's never told. When God put this team together, it has shattered the mold. Our friendship is forged in battle with a bond that's unbreakable. We all wear God's armor, the Red Castle Republic is unstoppable.
www.mg.show. Boom.